Well, I've come along to talk with Derek Patience, who's the chairman of the MS Society here on the island. You got a bit of fundraising, which I'll come to in a minute, but I thought it'd be worthwhile finding out about MS conditions here and disabilities, because challenging some buildings might be in the Isle of Man, especially I suppose the older ones. How is it for you?
Some buildings are fine in terms of access and also in terms of, say, access to toilets, etc. Others, they're older buildings and they maybe don't have the ability to adapt to make it as easy as possible for, say, somebody like myself in a wheelchair.
Is it down to laws being made, to building codes, or is it people making things right on their own good anyway?
Yeah, I think it starts with the legislation. Over in the UK, it's a lot more restrictive, especially in terms of anything new. To make sure that people with disabilities are properly catered for and properly looked after.
How did you find it yourself? Because you've gone from being completely able-bodied and you then progressively down to the wheelchair. Did you view the life differently as things?
You learn to adapt. I've been using the chair for around about a year now, and even though I was using crutches before that, I didn't appreciate how difficult things were. Being in the chair, until you actually have to experience just little things like doors closing, trying to get the open door, trying to get your wheelchair around, and even in the likes of the disabled toilet.
You're kidding. In a disabled toilet, they should know, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
But someone hasn't done their sizes right.
And even in a disabled toilet where you've got a spring back door, sometimes those can be challenging to open the door and get out before it springs back on you.
On the positive side, we see quite often those big buttons now which open doors for you. That's the sort of thing you obviously look forward to having.
Those are absolutely wonderful.
Okay. Support on the Isle of Man. I mean, MS Society, have you got many members and what do you do?
There's just over 100 members of the society, and we're here for everyone with MS, not just those who are members. We have a contract with Crossroads, who provide special care if a member has need for guidance, support, or care itself. In addition, the society, we run 5 exercise classes per week. Hydrotherapy, chair-based exercises, yoga and Pilates. And we also provide social events. We've got 2 monthly coffee mornings, one at Port Eyre and one in Ramsey, and also quarterly lunches.
When someone gets diagnosed, is there a support group here for that part of it? I mean, to help people understand what their journey ahead is going to be like?
Yeah, I mean, the MS Society and the people in the society can certainly help in that regard. Also, the health professionals play a big part in that as well. The MS nurse, physiotherapist, occupational therapist, social work, etc.
So people building today, anyway, I guess they've got to make the codes right. It's things like, we were having a chat before we came on about, it could be a nice restaurant, but suddenly you can't find the toilets on the same level. Those things must be frustrating.
Yes, they're limiting in certain ways, but also you just find ways to adapt to whatever the circumstance happens to be, and you make the best of it.
What did you make when the promenade scheme was put over about the shared spaces? Was that one of those worries for you?
Shared space was definitely a worry. Again, just trying to make sure you're noticed by other people, and you aren't always.
Okay. Well, the slogan is "Kiss Goodbye to MS," and you've got your bit of fundraising coming up. Tell us about it.
We've organised some fundraisers in the past. Our last one was an abseil down the TT Tower, which was very successful in terms of fundraising. This event is called a Wheel and Walk, and it's around the NSC cycle track. And again, the purpose is to raise some funds, but it's also got the additional purpose of raising awareness and also having an event that everyone with MS can take part. If people are able to walk around, great. The wheel part of it, if people need to go around in a wheelchair, like I will be doing, they can. If people need some assistance, they can get pushed around. If they need to use an electric scooter, they can. So
anyway, you get around. You just get around.
The thinking behind it is, regardless of your level of ability or disability, everyone can take part.
Okay, this is Saturday the 29th of April,
Yes.
10:15 to 11:45.
Yeah.
People get more information how?
If they contact me, derekpatience@hotmail.com or by texting 480-755.
And the MS Society making strides in research, are they?
Over the years, there's been significant developments through research in terms of coming up with what they call disease-modifying drugs. And where they've been very successful is minimizing the number of relapses that people go through. Recently, there's been some positive research on the progressive side of MS, and again, something to minimize the progression of the disease.
Because it's not just steady necessarily, is it? I mean, how's your situation?
I've had a variable one.
Yeah.
Initially, relapsing remitting MS, where for the bulk of the time I'm fine, and then maybe for a month I was poorly. After a number of years, mine progressed into what they call secondary progressive, where I have symptoms all the time. There's a level of progression, but what is unpredictable is the level of progression. Sometimes it can stay constant. Sometimes you can have relapses within that as well. So,
but good research is going on.
Yes, certainly.
Funds is always needed. That's what it's about. Well, we wish you well, and whatever the weather, almost, unless it's really mad, it'll go ahead.
Yeah, and unless it's really mad, it'll go ahead. So if people want to participate, they don't have to have MS, they don't have to have a connection with MS. We'll welcome anyone if they want to come and walk. And if people want to donate, we've set up a Just Giving page, and let's hope it all goes well.